I'm Elizabeth at A Literary Princess. If you are new here, welcome. I have a PhD in English literature with a focus on Victorian women novelists, and as you might expect, I love to read. Today I have my June TBR for you, although really it's more of a pile of possibilities because I've not been very good at sticking to my TBRs this year. So these are some of the things that I think I might like to read in the month of June. Let's jump in. We're going to start with some Victorian novels, and the first is one that I have to read this. And it is for my Elizabeth Gaskell project. This is My Lady Ludlow by Elizabeth Gaskell from 1858. I really know nothing about this, so I'm very excited to continue on with my Elizabeth Gaskell project. Not that I have even picked up the book for May yet, which is North and South, which is a reread that I can do quickly, but still. So hopefully I'll be a bit more timely with My Lady Ludlow. And to be fair, it is quite short. A little over 200 pages, so. Next one is one that me and Katie from Books and Things have talked about buddy reading, and it is quite short. This is The Laurel Bush by Dinah Mullet Craik. Again, I know nothing about this. We have a character named Fortune Williams, a young governess without fortune. Well, her name is not very apt, is it? Yeah, so I had wanted to read this before I started A Life for a Life, or before I even bought A Life for a Life, because I already owned this, but then stuff happened, and I'm now reading A Life for a Life. But I would still really like to read The Laurel Bush in June, because I am really enjoying everything by Craik so far, other than Bread Upon the Waters, but we'll just not talk about that. So I'm expecting this to be good. The last Victorian novel is one that was on the May TBR that I just never got to. This is Adam Graham by Margaret Oliphant. I want to read all of her novels, and I'm kind of trying to do that in sections. So I have a whole video on that if you wanted to watch it. And my idea is to do spoiler-free reviews for each of her novels. So this would be the first one that I'm getting to for that project. And I really would like to get to it. It is one of her Scottish novels, and that's really all I know. So yeah, I don't know. Will I get to all these? Probably not. But again, it's a pile of possibilities. I then have two non-Victorian classics, the first of which is Howard's End by E.M. Forster. This is on my 50 books to read for the year, and I borrowed it from my mother, so I should give it back to her, which means I should read it. It is not actually as long as it looks because it's a Norton Critical Edition, so it's got a ton of stuff in the back, and the actual text is about 250 pages, so that's not that long. I feel like I should be able to get to that. But I also want to watch the new series of it that's on PBS right now, which is called Howard's End, shocking. And I want to read the book before I watch that. So hopefully get to this. And then another one that was from the May TBR that just didn't get got to. This is Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison, another of my 50 books to read for the year. Another one that I really know nothing about because there's no summary on the back. But this is, what is this, the third TBR it's shown up on? Maybe only the second, I don't know, but I really do want to read it. So we'll see if I'm in the mood in June. I've got one work of nonfiction on here, and it is a reread. This is Loving Sylvia Plath, A Reclamation by Emily Van Doon. I just purchased this recently, and I am currently reading The Silent Woman, Sylvia Plath and Ted Hughes by Janet Malcolm. And Emily Van Doon is kind of doing a lot of similar things, but she has more information because The Silent Woman was written in the 90s, and this was in 2023 or 4. So I'm really looking forward to rereading this because I loved it the first time. And I feel like going back after having read one of these older works that Van Doon discusses in this book, it'll be really interesting. I'm excited for this. And the rest of these are just some general fiction, starting with an arc. This is Carrion Crow by Heather Parry. So I know that this came out last year, But then this NetGalley edition I have is coming out in 2026. So I don't know if it's a US release or what is going on. But I've heard great things about this. It is a gothic novel following Marguerite, whose mother has locked her in an attic and educating her with a sewing machine and a copy of Mrs. Beeton's Book of Household Management, which was a very popular guide for household management in the Victorian period. And the summary says that it is a commentary on the constraints of polite society and the even greater danger of conformity that unfurls one family's festering secrets. So this sounds like it should be really good. Maybe a little bit of hints of Laura Purcell, which would be nice. And I am looking forward to it. Should I probably write reviews for my other arcs that I've been reading before starting this? Probably. But that's neither here nor there. Moving on. Next up is a book by my favorite author, Stephen King. I do like to try to read one of his books at least every summer, and this is the one that is currently calling to me. This is Under the Dome. So I had started this years ago when I first bought it, and just never ended up finishing it. And it is one of the longest books on my TBR. And so I don't know, it's just calling to me right now. So maybe that'll change, I don't know. But it would be nice to kind of get it read and ticked off my list. Also, even though Stephen King's books are frequently long like this, they read very quickly for me. So even though it's 1,000-something pages, it shouldn't take me too long. Maybe. Who knows? Next 3 are ones that are, actually the next 4 are all on my 50 books list, and the first 3 of these are ones that I looked at in my Reading First Chapters video, where I read the first chapter of books on my TBR to see if I wanted to keep or unhaul them. And I was really excited about these 3 books. The first chapters were very engaging. So the first one is Rouge by Mona Awad, kind of a horror play on the Snow White fairy tale. I read one book and DNF'd another by Awad, so I don't know how this is gonna go, but the prologue was very, very engaging and made me want to read more. I don't think I'll read all 3 of these. Maybe I will, but probably not. It's probably just gonna be which one's calling to me, but I like to have the options. We then have The Guineveres by Sarah Dommett, a book about 4 girls all named Guinevere who are being raised in a convent and who are friends. The first chapter of this was really, really good. And I've had this on my shelf for a while, so I do really want to read it. And the third one is Less by Andrew Sean Greer, following writer, what is his name? The last name is Less, but he has a first name. Arthur, maybe? Yes, Arthur, okay. Why is the summary not telling me? And this is the one that out of those 3 I'm feeling the most called to right now. I really liked what I read from this, and it is the winner of the Pulitzer Prize. I don't know which year, but. So I think I'm really gonna enjoy this. And then the final book on the pile of possibilities is one that was on the May TBR that I just didn't get to, and it is more gothic historical fiction, The House of Whispers by Laura Purcell. So excited for this. Set in Cornwall, and sketchy stuff happening because this guy, Dr. Pinecroft, has plans for a revolutionary experiment, and that's how you know it's all gonna go wrong. So, I really wanted to get to this in May, it just didn't happen, and hopefully it will happen in June. That is my pile of possibilities for June. Let me know down in the comments, have you read any of these? What did you think of them? What are you reading in June? If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more of my bookish content. It has been great chatting with you. I will see you soon. Bye.